Welcome. This tutorial will show you how to do the action script side of getting a progress bar preloader to work in Flash. If you have any questions or comments about this, you can email me at freeadobeflashtutorials@gmail.com, or you can check out the website at www.freeadobeflashtutorials.com. I'll actually be posting the FLA, this file, up on the website, so you can download it if you have any questions or you want to pull the action script text off, you can do that. Again, that's www.freeadobeflashtutorials.com. I encourage you to do that. Okay, so we have the file that we created last time. We have our button movie clip, our progress bar movie clip, our holder movie clip, which is the stroke, and then we have our dynamic text box and an empty movie clip to load our picture. The only difference, okay, we want to make sure that's empty underscore MC. The only difference I did is I separated the different components into different layers. It's just an organizational issue. And then where I actually saved this progress bar, I saved it in a folder and put in a picture1 JPEG. That's the one we're going to be loading into. Okay, let's open up our action script window. So you go up to Windows and open our action script. And this is where we're going to place, make sure to be on our action script frame. First thing we need to do is, so our end result, we want to be able to press the button, the progress bar will appear, the hold or the stroke will appear, and then the yellow fill will fill in as the file's being loaded as when we press the button. The percent loaded will actually be displayed in our dynamic text, and the movie or the picture will come in onto this movie clip right here. So that's what we want to achieve. Okay, the first thing we need to do is to turn off the progress bar. So when you open up the file, or this way if it doesn't appear, we call upon the stroke by name, holder underscore MC, period, underscore visible equals false. That will turn off our stroke. We want to put our prog bar, the inside, turn that off as well. But we don't want to turn that off. We want to set its underscore x scale to 0. And what that'll do is the x point of this will actually shrink to 0. That shrink will occur in relative to where this cross lies on the object. So if it's here, it'll start here. If it's in the middle, it'll start here and go out. So in order to change where that cross lies, you can open up the movie clip and change the put the object where you need it to be relative to the to that little cross. Okay, let's go back to our action script panel. Next thing we need to do is turn that button into a functional button. So we're going to call it button underscore MC on press equals function, open and close parenthesis, open bracket, closing bracket. Now that we can click on that button. What goes inside this the brackets of the function is what we want to occur when the button is pressed. First of all, we want to turn our holder MC back on, the stroke. And we want to load our picture. We also want the text to turn on. So let's call this percent underscore txt visible equals true. That will turn on our dynamic text box. And we want to load our picture into the empty movie clip. So let's call the empty mc.load movie. That will load our picture. And it'll open up a parenthesis, and then you put the file or the extension, the thing into your picture, in quotes, picture1, JPEG, close quotes, close parenthesis. So if we test this movie, when we press our button, it'll load the picture and load the stroke. It'll also turn on our dynamic text box, but there's nothing to be filled in it yet. get our progress bar to work now. The thing we need to do is we need to get the bytes of the incoming file and divide that by the total bytes of the file and times it by 100 to get our percent loaded. So what we need to do, we need to put all of that into a function. So say this on enter frame equals function, open close parenthesis, open bracket, closing bracket. What that'll say is when you press the button, inside of this function, there's this function that's saying on this frame, it's going to allow us to do this function. We're going to set a variable, and we're going to call this variable percent loaded, or percentage loaded. Percentage loaded is equal to empty MC period get bytes loaded. That'll get the actual bytes that are being loaded, and we want to divide that by the total bytes. Empty underscore MC dot get bytes total. But to make that a true percentage, we got to times that by 100. We want to close our parentheses and end it with a semicolon. So this percent loaded will actually be the percent, how much is being loaded as that picture file gets loaded in. So we want our progress bar's X scale to be set to that. Equals percentage loaded. So what this is saying is, as the bytes are being loaded, divided by the total bytes of being loaded times 100 equals the percent. And our X scale, the scale of that progress bar, is going to increase as that percentage grows higher. But we also want that percentage to show up in our dynamic text box. So let's percent underscore txt dot, the text of that box is going to be equal to parenthesis math dot round percentage loaded. That'll take our actual percentage loaded and clean it up. It'll actually round that, because that is a constant. It could be decimals, it could be all those things, but if we round it off, it'll give us a clean number that we can stick in our box. But we also want to put a percentage sign after that to let the people know that that's the percent. So if we just add quote percent, and that'll just put the symbol of percent afterwards. So if we test our movie and press our button, it'll show us 100% of the bytes loaded, and it'll have our picture. For some reason our progress bar X scale is not being loaded properly. I misspelled it. Percentage loaded. Test it now. There it goes. That works. To be able to test this a little bit better, we need to, the file's on the computer, so it loads really fast. But if you come up here to view and do download settings, you can actually check what kind of download you want to simulate a download. If you press simulate download, or if you press Apple Enter again, it will put you into the simulated download setting. So it'll act as a 56K connection and show you the progress bar working. So it works now that when you press the button, our percentage loaded is being created and represented in these two ways. Say, for example, that you wanted to get this progress bar to disappear after the file, or after the file has been loaded. I'll show you how to do that really quick. We're going to write an if statement. If percentage loaded is equal to 100. Now in Flash ActionScript you got to put equals to, because it's not setting that variable we want it, if it equals to it. We first want to, we gotta close our bracket, make sure we do that. Delete this on enter frame. I'll say if it's equal to 100, it'll stop this process. We want it to turn off our stroke. We want it to reset our progress bar. Equals 0. And we want to turn off our percent, our dynamic text box. And that will occur when percentage loaded is equal to 100%. So if we test the movie again, oh, we've got an error here, unexpected period. Let's test that movie again, and it'll show us on line 15. Oh, I have this period in the wrong place. So you can tell if you're doing wrong syntax, it'll give you some errors and tell you what to kind of fix. So now if we press the button, if we press it again with simulated download, it'll give us the percentage as it loads to 100% and then disappear. There you have it. I know it helps to sometimes have the actual FLA available, so I'm going to put it up under a section called Files on www.freeadobeflashtutorials.com. Thank you very much for watching.